Welcome guys, this is the first video ever.
This was my very first upload. Can you actually run a DIY electronics channel while studying engineering? 1 year ago I didn't know the answer, and so I decided to find out. After finishing high school in 2025, I finally had enough free time during the summer to start this YouTube channel. The original idea was simple. I wanted to share the electronics projects I had built during the previous year, hoping that they could help someone else. But there was another reason too. None of my friends were really into DIY electronics, so YouTube felt like the perfect place to share what I was building with people who actually enjoyed this kind of stuff. At the beginning, my strategy was incredibly simple. Just build one project every week, make a YouTube video about that project, update my personal website, and then repeat the process. This was my initial approach to understand how YouTube worked. The very first project was a simple ESP32 device that could communicate through NRF Connect using Bluetooth Low Energy and behave similarly to a Find Me device. Looking back, those first videos were far from perfect. My editing wasn't very good, my camera wasn't very good, and speaking in English in every video was probably the biggest gamble of the channel. I'm Italian, and before starting this channel I had never spoken English in front of a camera. But I decided not to wait until everything was perfect. I wanted to play the long game. Now, 1 year later, speaking in English feels much more natural than it did on day one. After a few weeks, I realized something. Building a completely new electronics project every single week wasn't sustainable. So I changed my workflow. Whenever I learned something useful while building a project, I turned that topic into a standalone tutorial. That tutorial gave me another week to finish the bigger project. Interestingly, two of the most viewed videos on this channel are exactly this combination. The tutorial first, followed by the complete project. The next major change happened at the end of the summer. My first year of computer engineering was about to begin. I knew I wouldn't have enough time to keep starting a brand new project every week, so I completely changed my strategy. Instead of making many independent projects, I started one ambitious long-term build and documented the entire process through multiple episodes. Looking back, this was probably the best decision I made during the first year of YouTube. I realized I enjoy working on one big project much more than rushing lots of small ones. Between those episodes, I continued uploading tutorials whenever I discovered something useful that could help other makers. 7 months later, that first long-term project was finally complete. A few months after that, I finished my first year of computer engineering. Looking back, almost everything about my workflow changed during this first year. But somehow, I never stopped building. After one entire year, I think these are the biggest lessons I learned. Making videos definitely slows the building process. Recording takes time. Editing takes time. Writing documentation also takes time. But sharing every step also pushes me to finish projects that otherwise could stay unfinished for months. When I started, I didn't really study YouTube. I just turned on the camera and improvised every week. Looking back, I would have started analyzing successful creators much earlier. Not to copy their ideas, but to understand how they tell stories, keep people engaged, and explain complex topics. This is probably the one thing I wish I had started doing much earlier. After experimenting for a year, I realized I prefer ambitious, long-term projects over lots of small independent builds. For me, building something over several months and sharing every step is much more rewarding. I'm not a native English speaker. I was born and raised in Italy, and most of my English came from school and watching YouTube. Starting a channel in English felt like a huge gamble, but after 1 year I realized something. You don't become comfortable before you start. You become comfortable because you keep doing it. If you are thinking about creating a content in a second language, it's probably much less intimidating than it seems. Now let's have a look at the stats of the YouTube channel. Right now it's the 8th of July and it's not exactly 365 days, but last 365 days we got 124,000 views. As you can see, these spikes are the shorts and 1500 hours of watch time and then 635 subscribers. I don't have the monetization section because to earn money you actually need to be at 1000 subscribers and 4000 hours in the last 365 days. And this, as you can see, is the subscribers section. And I want to thank all the 637 subscribers that decided to join this journey with me. Now comes the part I am probably the most excited about. Over the past year, I discovered the kind of videos I enjoy making the most. Instead of rushing a new project every week, I much prefer spending months building something ambitious and documenting the entire process. And that's exactly what I've already started doing. The long-term project series is the direction I want this channel to take. I want every episode to be longer, better and more enjoyable to watch. You will still see tutorials whenever I learn something useful that could help other makers. But they will become part of a bigger journey rather than standalone videos. Another important change is the upload schedule. After trying weekly uploads for an entire year, I realized that 1 week simply isn't enough to build the videos I really want to make. So, from now on, new videos will be released every 2 weeks. More time to design, more time to build, more time to film, and more time to edit. And hopefully, better stories to tell. At the end of every series, I would also love to create a cinematic project showcase that brings everything together into one final video. That's the direction I want this channel to follow, and honestly, I'm really excited to see where it goes. 1 year ago, I kept asking myself this question: can you actually run a DIY electronics channel while studying engineering? Back then, I was convinced I could make it work. I just didn't know how. Now, 1 year later, I can finally say that, yes, it is possible. Not because I found the perfect workflow, but because I kept adapting and never stopped building. I'm really grateful that I decided to start this channel instead of waiting for the right moment. So, if you're in the same position I was 1 year ago, just start. You will learn along the way.